Welcome to the Chicago Bears Podcast, a presentation of ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports. Here's your host, Pat, the designer.
Bird on, Bears fans. Yannick Ngakoue is a Chicago Bear. Mercedes Lewis, too. And we'll talk about all that on today's episode.
I thought they were set at tight end. What happened?
All right, well, you got to get the wheelchairs in there somehow, and he's got the age for it. All that and more. We're going to jump straight into this because this is a exciting day. I mean, the Bears go out and get the pass rusher that they're looking for. John Jurko in the building, a former pass rusher. So you're going to get top flight insight on this episode here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Let's do what we do, man. Yannick Ngakoue is here. What does this do for the Chicago Bears
That's
team?
fine. So obviously what they did was they took a look at what they had and decided that they don't have enough pressure coming off the end. They gave it a little bit of while. They gave it a couple, 3-4 practices and decided, hey, we don't have the requisite amount of pressure that we're going to need. It might be the final piece to our defensive puzzle. So they decided to go out there and give them a 1-year contract, which allows them flexibility, to
10.5
play him for the year, play him for the year.
Yep.
And most likely he becomes a free agent at the end of the year. You play him up until the point where say it's not going right for the Bears this year. Say after 8 weeks, I don't know when the trade deadline is, but say after 8 weeks, they're 3-5.
Right.
They're not where they want to be. And there's a demand for a pass rusher. There's a chance you can go ahead and move him also.
Yeah.
So it allows you that flexibility. And they brought Mercedes Lewis to Jack Haley to the Dennis Rodman that would be Yannick Ngakoue. His little
That's
buddy,
how I feel about
little
it.
buddy making him feel good.
I don't know if they're guys or not, but I don't know another reason why you bring them in.
I don't know what you need Mercedes Lewis for. You got your tight end position pretty much set.
Yeah.
If he needs a little buddy to hang out with, that's fine. If that's what you want to do.
He is a guy that knows the system.
I don't know
what
what they paid Mercedes Lewis. It doesn't make a difference. They've
$2
got
million.
room under the cap, so that's fine. Come on over. You can be his buddy. You can be his pal. You can put his arm around him and say, hey, Yannick, it's good. Everything's going to be fine. It's fine. They got the pass rusher they needed. They got a legitimate pass rusher coming off the corner. It's not necessarily always about sacks, but it is about pressure and consistent pressure. And pressures is what he's been able to provide over the course of time. So that's a good thing. He makes the defensive line better. He makes the pass rush better.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. They took a little time to find out if they had something. They figured out, okay, not yet. It might develop, but it's not there yet. So we're going to be in pretty good shape.
How does this change what your evaluation of what this defense was, right? Because to me, I loved even let's just stick with the line on this one. I thought DeMarcus Walker was good. I thought Rasheem Green was good, but I thought they were the second guy on that defensive line. The guy that got 7 sacks because someone else is getting the focus. Now somebody else is getting the focus.
If you're excited about what's happening in the defensive secondary, I don't know why you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Everybody's young. Except for Eddie, but everybody's young. Everybody's on the come. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Jalen Johnson. You might not, if he doesn't get better, you probably won't pay him. You'll let him become a free agent and see what he can get out there. But if you're excited about the linebackers that you got, you like the big guys that you got in the draft in the middle, and some of the defensive, and some of the tackles that you've signed and other linemen during the offseason. All this does is help solidify. Everybody knew he was out there. He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
He's there to rush the passer. He's a mercenary. You took a look. You waited. You finally pulled the trigger and said 1 year, $10.5 million deal. Not a problem. I don't have any issues. I'm not worried about the personnel. The personnel that's there, they decide wasn't quite ready enough to rush the passer on a consistent basis. And they made the call. And it may not be Yannick doesn't play 1st and 10. He may be 2nd and 4+, or 2nd and 7+ and 3rd and 4+. Those are the passing downs. The minute they go to nickel, he might be the guy that's going to be out there.
Yeah.
When they're in dime, he's definitely going to be the guy that's out there. So that's fine. I got no issues with any of it. You rotate your defensive lineman most of the time anyway. So your first unit defensive tackles usually rotate 3. If you got a 4-man rotation, everybody's going to be well rested and everybody's going to be in there. And then we'll see who develops over the course of time. When you've got to do it in practice, when you got to do it, you got to be able to do it in games. So that's the ultimate test in games. We'll see how they play in games, and then we'll see how things kind of work themselves out throughout the year.
When you when you think about, your time in the NFL and your playing career, what does a guy like this do for a secondary
Well,
that we
so
have here?
so what I looked at, it was like Clyde Simmons in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Tony Brackens, we just drafted in the second round out of Texas, and Tony was tougher than nails. We had Lagerman, we had Joel Schmengi, and they looked at it and said, okay, it's okay, but there's a veteran defensive player out there that can get after the quarterback that doesn't necessarily have the greatest work habits because of his age. But come Sunday, plays his ass off, and that was Clyde Simmons.
Right.
So Clyde played with us in 96, 97, 98. And Clyde was great. Maybe Clyde wasn't with us in 96. I can't remember. And then he came to Chicago here in 99. But Clyde can rush the passer.
Yeah.
Clyde didn't like being, he didn't like being in Jacksonville sometimes. But come Sunday, Clyde played.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're looking at. So what's he going to do? He provides that final piece of the puzzle that you didn't have. You didn't have that 10-plus sack guy out on the corner. You didn't have him. Everybody knew you didn't have him. So what he does is he just kind of solidifies the puzzle. May not be the sexiest puzzle in the world. It may be a puzzle that's going to become better at the end of the year, but he finalizes that piece of the puzzle that you needed. So good. I was wondering what they were waiting for. Maybe they're hoping for it to become cheaper price, but the longer you went into camp, the more guys got banged up, the more valuable he was going to become. So they got him for what they got him for. Good.
And you I think he wanted a multi-year deal. You end up being able to get him on a 1-year deal, 10.5. I feel good about where this Bears defense is heading, because I think that my biggest question mark was, you went out and I think you got blue chip pieces, right? We've heard that term thrown around a ton. You got Tremaine Edmonds. I think you have Jaquan Brisker. I think these are guys who are blue chip pieces on your defense. But the question was, well, how are you going to replicate what made them blue chip pieces where they were with TJ Edwards?
Well, first of all, if they're blue chip pieces, they're the ones that come out and they're part of the replication.
Right.
Okay. So Brisker has been drafted here. He's working his way one day to become a blue chip. Gordon, working his way to becoming a blue chip. Jalen Johnson, not there, working his way to become a blue. Eddie Jackson was once there. He's working his way back. So, I mean, he's a top flight guy, Yannick is, as far as it comes to rushing the passer. That's what he is.
Yeah.
When you have 4 homes in 8 years, there's got to be something that's an issue there, that no matter how good you are, that they're more than happy to say goodbye to you.
Yeah.
So that's why you sign him to 1 year, because you don't want to be married to a guy on a multi-year contract that sometimes doesn't like to let his roots, get into the earth. He may just be that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's always looking for the next best thing.
Well, he said he was looking for a multi-year. It's got to be something.
Well, that's for
in the locker
financial
room.
security.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily because he wants to be anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just for money, so he can get more guaranteed money
Right.
up front. Yeah.
It-
Not because he loves Chicago.
Well, yeah. I didn't think that it was there. You
Yeah.
mean that he wasn't excited about coming to a 3-win football team?
Well, that's got nothing to do with it. I mean, that was last year. That's 7-win. That was 7-win football team that underperformed last year. So that's the way it is. And when you're a pass rushing guy and you're out there, you don't always get to go to the best team, because the best team usually has their pass rushers already.
Yeah.
So they're not hurting for them. So great pass rushers end up signing with teams that aren't winning the year before, because that's one of the deficiencies that they have. So, yeah, no, I mean, listen, it is what it is. They needed it. They got it. Good. Now we'll see if we can keep him entertained and not bore him enough to where he doesn't become the teammate that's caused himself problems over the course of time. I think it's a great signing, though. I think it's the one thing they were missing.
Yeah.
It's the one thing they needed. But it doesn't take away from the one thing that has to happen, and that's the maturation of Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, well, and this to me, right, that's the one thing for me where I look at 2018 and I said the best thing you did for that Bears offense was go get Khalil Mack, because he helped put you in positions where it made things easier for that offense. That's what I think Yannick Ngakoue comes in here and does for Justin Fields. He's going to be a guy that's going to allow the Bears to be in better field position. Bears started pretty much every drive from either the 10 or the 20.
Well, I mean,
last season.
You can get their average drive position and their average start, in pretty much all the games. The Bears outrushed a lot of opponents. Great. They held the time of possession against a lot of opponents. Great. They won the turnover battles in a number of those games. They outrushed. They won a turnover battle. They had clock and time of possession. You know what they didn't do? They didn't win the game.
Yeah.
So you can have all those key indicators on how you might win a game. You didn't win games.
Yeah.
So that's what they've got to do this year. They've got to find a way to win games.
And that's
and Yannick helps you win those games. Yannick helps the defense. It most importantly helps the defense get off the field,
Yeah.
which then in turn gets the ball to your offense and puts the ball in Justin Fields' hands. And now the greatest question mark of this year is what happens when Justin Fields gets the football. What will happen?
All the excuses have been removed. Everything, and I
That
have
was the final excuse.
I have to give Ryan Poles his credit. Like, you've literally said, guess what? We will know next season whether our quarterback
you'll know 9 weeks in
is the guy.
You're going to have an idea 9 weeks in.
Yeah. And I
you
just
ain't got to wait to the end of the year. 9 weeks in, you're going to have an idea what the hell's going on.
This isn't the 200 pitch count? You're going to know before you can know?
No, you'll know. 9 games in, you'll know exactly what you have and what you don't have.
How does this?
All the second year with the guy, this, that, every excuse is out the book.
Yeah.
Now he's got to go play.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can go play.
How does this change your expectation for what this Bears team is going to do this
9-8.
season?
I'm still nine victories. That's exactly where I have them. Nothing has changed. This was a move that it was sitting out there for you. It was the baby in the basket that was left on your front door. It's there. It was there. It was given. It should have happened. It was going to happen. It finally did happen. This was a no-brainer. You didn't have to be a genius for this thing to play itself out the way it did. So you got your pass rusher, and hopefully this defense puts it together. This offense puts it together. So we'll see. I got him going 2-0 to start the year.
Yeah.
2-0 goes into 2-1. I just heard, on my way in today, I just heard Bleck and Abdallah say they got the Bears at 6-2 after 8. I was like, I mean, what are we doing here, guys? We got one pass rusher that helps solidify the defense. This team's still got to find out who they are.
Yeah.
They still got to develop their personality. I don't think this team has a personality yet. Their personality last year was losers. Their personality was, let's find ways to lose games, because that's what they were designed to do after the trade. They were 3-3 before they decided to abandon ship. And then they lost 10 in a row, like they were following the script. Some games were competitive, but it didn't make a difference. The Giants game, the Washington game, the Vikings game, the Detroit game, it's 31-30. It still pains me. You're up by I don't know how many points and you found a way to lose. It all still pains me just thinking about it. So
you're going to do 10 losing post-game shows in a row.
Yeah, whenever they say that it's a 3-win football team, no, it's a 7-win football team that underperformed to 3 victories. That's what it was. This team is a 7-win team looking to outperform what their 7-win form was last year.
So with that being said, right? So you believe that last season was a 7-win team that underperformed?
Yeah, because they
with all the additions, this team then, by that estimation, is still only 2 wins better in your book,
right? Because you made a lot of subtractions last year.
Yeah.
So it's a 7-win team that got subtracted from and
becomes a 3-win
team that they were. And now I still start them at 7, and I got them a little bit better than they were. So I got them at 9 wins.
Right.
9 wins. I don't know if it gets you in the playoffs. I don't know if it wins the division. I have a feeling 10 victories is enough to win
probably
this
division.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the NFC East, the AFC East look to be very tough divisions. Arizona still stinks in the NFC, so they're not a concern for anybody. But I wonder if the Rams are going to have a bounce back year. It just makes me wonder. If Cooper Kupp is back, Aaron Donald is back, Stafford is back.
That defense got gutted, though.
Yeah, gutted by who?
That defense. I mean, they just
Jalen Ramsey quit on the team again. Is that what happened? It was a shock. Jalen Ramsey ain't the player he was either. Anybody who says Jalen Ramsey's the same guy he was, he got exposed.
Jalen Ramsey's been getting exposed.
Been exposed.
Nobody has that conversation.
No, that's not true though. But here, they told me he's the number 1 corner in the league. They came out and said he's the number 1 corner. What?
Yeah.
He ain't the number 1 corner in the league. Yeah. That's falsehood.
To me, he's been getting his. I always, the one thing I always
he's a route jumper.
Yeah.
He's a guesser. He's a guesser, a route guesser. He guesses. And when you guess and you gamble, sometimes you end up in the trail position.
Yeah.
And it's ugly when you're in the trail position. When you guess wrong, you look terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And if that's what it's come to now at this point in his career, when he should be in his prime, that he's guessing on routes and not reacting, then
I-
then it's a problem.
I've always said if Burrow had a half second more in that Super Bowl
But he
on
didn't.
that offensive line,
Yeah.
what you see is Jalen Ramsey get cooked down the right sideline by Jamar Chase,
Sure.
and you're probably talking about a Bengals Super Bowl win
Probably, but you're
in
not,
that situation.
'cause
But
Aaron
Aaron
Donald's a
Donald
monster.
was the guy,
That's
though. You know
right.
what I mean?
He was a monster in that game.
Where does this land the Bears in the division, in your opinion, now?
Second.
As
Second.
a ranking of what
Second.
the team should be.
Again, you keep saying now. What does it do now? The Yannick Ngakoue signing was always going to happen. I'd always projected that it was going to happen. I always had them signing either him or somebody else coming to him to help fortify. Nothing. It solidifies the 9. It solidifies second place. That's what it does. It makes life easier to find out the answer on your quarterback. That's what it does. And that's all you got to look forward to.
Right.
And then hopefully, number one, it answers all the questions. You've been to camp.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen some of those throws.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen some hesitancy.
It's
a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
It's
I'm
a work
still
in progress.
positive.
It's one of those camp is one of those things right now where all the days where I've looked at as bad, Luke has immediately come out after and said, we basically told them we're putting all new stuff in today. We're going deeper into the playbook, which does excite me in that sense, because now it's Justin Fields not just getting the baby milk. It's getting steak and potatoes in them a little bit, fattening them up. So
he's getting the deep milk from the roots.
From the root. Listen, like I love it from that aspect. And to your point, though, you said something that was very interesting. This team has to find their identity. After that last practice, the defense is chirping. They're excited. They're going out. They're fired up. The offense looked dead. It just looked like,
defenses
we're
are
out here
chirping all over the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is in the first 2 weeks of camp. The defenses will chirp. Okay. That's the way it's going to happen. Everywhere in the NFL, you take a look at what's going on. They'll tell you the defense has outplayed the offense. The defense has outplayed the offense. Because the defenses are in front of the offenses. That's just the way it works early on.
Yeah.
So that's where they're at. And, your personality is a team personality. It's not a defensive personality. So things have to develop as a whole. It can't develop in fractions. So hopefully this team, and they've got 6 weeks to do it in training camp.
Yeah.
Hopefully they develop as a team.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm just glad to have some semblance of football back. I don't know if I can call what we saw last night a football game.
Yeah, well, it was. There was hitting, there was tackling. It's much better than the practices that they run nowadays.
What's your thoughts on the new training camp styles and all of that?
Well, listen,
because you were in very different training camps.
I was a player, and I hated training camp.
Yeah.
So any chance I could get into the system they're running now as a player, I love. But as a person that understands football and knows football, you have to have some sort of physicality in practice.
Yeah.
And you've got to have more than 9 contact days over the course of 7 weeks leading up to an NFL season to think you're going to be anywhere prepared to be able to play. So
we see a lot of times now where they go basically your first 2 weeks of the season it still looks very clunky because guys are getting
illegal procedure, all types of stupid penalties.
They're getting more so into playing shape, or not playing shape, but playing form, I should say.
With the 9, you should be able to get sore, lose your legs, bring your legs back, and get used to the soreness, which is a necessity. So you should be able to do that. The problem is you're talking about 9 contact practices, I think. Is that what it is? 9?
Yeah.
Over 6 weeks.
Right.
I mean, that averages like to 1.5 a week. And if anybody thinks that's good enough, you're fooling yourself. And then, guys, you saw the way they run and they practice. They're so tired. they're jogging through half the crap. Now, if you could practice with speed without the equipment, that's something different. But the big guys can't do nothing. And I always said it's a waste of time. You come out here in helmets and shirts
and t-shirts.
You're wasting. We're wasting our time.
Yeah.
You might as well send us to go play paintball or something. Send us to a field, work on our camaraderie and our strategy and stuff like that. Do that. But it's an absolute waste of time for big guys, if they don't have shoulder pads on and they're not banging, that's what we do. Big guys bang. And if we're not going to be banging, let us go play golf.
No, yeah.
Let us go to Fuddruckers and enjoy some cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap,
No, 100%. And it's weird when you come out of so many practices in a week and just go, yeah, we can't really tell anything from 40 of the 53 guys, but receivers caught footballs today.
Right. I mean, receivers, defensive backs, anybody that's doing 7-on-7 is what you can get done. I mean, you should come out in that first session, get the guys warmed up. And once the offensive lineman goes about the business of doing their inside run in blitz period, where they're doing blitz pickup, after that, send them in.
Yeah.
Get them in the weight room. Keep them strong. I wouldn't waste my big guys' times out there. As a quarterback needs to get used to seeing all the bodies around him.
Yeah.
Invent some dummies that just come start surrounding him, so he gets rid of the ball. I don't know.
Do you think that there's more of a benefit because you're going into the season healthier now? Like where in you guys' day, right? You guys were running real games basically in practice.
But you're still losing bodies.
Yeah.
Guys are still getting hurt. You still got Achilles being ruptured. You still got calves being strained. You got all types of injuries around the league. Take a look. The training rooms are full, even with these non-contact practices.
Yeah.
I think they've come to a point now where they're a little bit overprotective. But again, guys don't want to practice. I didn't want to practice. So now they're more sensitive to injuries. So now if you got a little, soft tissue issue, well, he's not going to practice. Man, soft tissue, every day was a soft tissue injury for me.
Hey, every day, new soft tissue injury.
Every day could have been calf, quad, hamstring, tricep, pull, bicep, deltoids, what is that? Teres minor, teres major, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, all the muscles you got, they could have been, an issue.
How would you
grade rhomboids, traps, the whole ball of wax?
How would you grade the job that Ryan Poles has come out here and done to turn this team over in one offseason?
Listen, it looks like he's turned it over, but the results will be during the season.
Yeah,
it can look great on paper, but they don't play the game on paper; they play it out on the field. So it looks good. It looks like he's done it, and now we'll see what they do on the field.
Yeah. And I guess here's the question, right? If on the field doesn't perform the way we think, where are we looking to now? Are we looking at the coaching staff to say, is this the right coaching staff for these guys? Are we looking at of course, the quarterback position?
It depends upon what the reason is.
Yeah.
It's hard to speculate if things don't go right. Well, you're going to have to find out why are things not going right.
Right.
And so uneasy is the head that wears the crown. When the team wins, the quarterback gets all the credit. When the team loses, the quarterback gets all the blame. That's usually it's overly simplified, but that's usually the way it happens. But there's no reason to speculate on it until it happens one way or the other.
Right.
And then once we see it happen one way or the other, and remember, the only decision that needs to be made is whether you're picking up a fifth-year option on Justin Fields. It's the only decision that needs to be made this year. He's under contract.
And you can tell with how Ryan has done all these signings, right? 1 year, 1 year, 1 year.
He hasn't achieved anything yet as a quarterback.
Right.
So we're hoping that he goes through the year and he achieves a ton. He finds a way to get the Bears 9 or 10 victories, which would be wonderful. You'd be in the playoffs at 10 victories for sure. And it would be a good thing. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's feeling great about themselves.
Right.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to feel great about yourself.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what this season brings at the end of the day. But hey, Yannick Ngakoue is a Bear. We're excited about it here. Hopefully.
Well, don't forget Mercedes Lewis.
Mercedes Lewis is also a Bear. Yes, Mercedes Lewis is also a Bear.
The Jack Haley of the Chicago Bears.
You don't think he brings any veteran presence to that that tight end room at all?
I think he's bringing his AARP card. Maybe he's getting a discount down at the Cracker Barrel.
Listen, I can get an AARP card. I found that out. I can get all the discounts myself.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
they made me wait till I was 50.
If you're young out there, you just got to go to the website now and sign up. That's all you got to do, man.
Oh, they just want the money.
Well, yeah, basically. That's okay. But hey, cheap pancakes. Hey, as always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the good kid John Jurkovic. Let us know how you guys are feeling about the Yannick Ngakoue signing in the comments below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. Peace.